So once again, who was the bad actor that made these terrible decisions? He's now admitted that the immigration system is broken after 9 years of his government. He blames bad actors. So let's put our detective hat on and find out who those bad actors were. Who was the head of the federal government that increased permits for temporary foreign workers by 154%? Who was the head of the federal government that issued 211% more permits for international students and a population growth plan that boosted growth by 300%? Wow. Can we identify who was that bad actor?
The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, following a pandemic that had devastated our economy in a short-term way, Canadians needed and businesses needed extra support, so asked for more temporary foreign workers, asked for more international students, and we gave them. Our economy grew, our economy got back faster than the United States, got back faster than many other countries of the world. And then we're now in a different situation where we've had to step up and reduce immigration numbers to make sure that our housing issues can catch up. This is what a responsible government does. It puts forward solutions that are right in the moment and corrects them when they're no longer needed.
The Honourable Leader of the Opposition.
I don't think we found the bad actor yet. Because he blames it on labor market needs, but the biggest growth happened in non-labor market immigration. For example, he boosted permits for international students by 211%, and refugees by 726%. That has nothing to do with filling job vacancies. And when it comes to temporary foreign workers, he allowed more to go to places with already high unemployment. So once again, who was the bad actor that made these terrible decisions?
The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, these little performances that the Leader of the Opposition
The Right Honourable Prime Minister from the top.
Mr. Speaker, these little performances that the Leader of the Opposition puts on are not fooling anyone. The only thing he is interested in is his own interests, his own quest for power. He is not asking he's asking his MPs to not be strong voices for their communities, including in communities that are relying on the investments in their housing so that they can respond to growing populations and housing pressures caused by increasing population. These are the things we are busy solving, but he would rather muzzle his MPs in order to look good when he's doing his little show.
The Honourable Leader of the Opposition.
Mr. Speaker, he's not helping us find the bad actor. You know, it's like there's been someone else running the country for the last 9 years while the system has come crumbling down. He claims that he cares about housing, but on that subject, maybe we'll ask him this question. Who is the head of the government that was warned by its public service 3 years ago that increasing population growth by 300% would cause the massive housing shortages that we see today?
The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Again, Mr. Speaker, with the little performances, when he would rather not admit that when he was Stephen Harper's failed housing minister, he created a total of 6 affordable housing units across the country. He was part of a government that completely pulled back from any investments in housing. And yes, as a government, we've had to step up, make record investments. But even as we are making record investments to accelerate the construction of housing in Conservative ridings across the country, he's preventing his Conservative MPs from standing up for their communities to solve this housing crisis.
The Honourable Leader of the Opposition.
Mr. Speaker, when I was housing minister, we had one home built for every 1.5 people added to the population, which meant we were adding houses faster than we needed to, and we were providing affordable homes of half the cost of today.
Yeah.
Last year, they added one home for every 5 new people, the biggest housing deficit in history. So once again, who was the bad actor running the government that was warned by its officials that all of this out-of-control population increase would cause a housing shortage?
The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, the government in which the Leader of the Opposition was their failed housing minister deliberately chose to get out of the business of housing, which meant we needed to step up with a national housing strategy in 2017 and with record investments, not just to create more housing, but to change the way housing is built in communities across this country. That is money put into the pockets of municipalities to invest, to densify, to rapidify, to accelerate the permitting. Money that he's promising to take away, that his MPs are trying to speak out to defend.
The Honourable Leader of the Opposition.
Mr. Speaker, when I was housing minister, housing was half the cost. When I was jobs minister, I actually cut down the number of temporary foreign workers to make sure Canadians got the job. But the bad actor he's referring to is the same head of government that allowed 211% more study permits for people who weren't supposed to be working. He allowed 154% more temporary foreign workers while Canadians were looking for jobs, and 726% more refugees. Mr. Speaker, if he wants to know who is the bad actor that broke the immigration system, why doesn't he do what he loves to do the most? Look in the mirror.
The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, the irony of this, as the Leader of the Opposition likes to rhyme off facts and figures, is he won't even take a briefing that will allow him to understand the security threats facing this country. For some strange reason that he will not admit to, he has refused to get his security clearance. He has refused to take the briefings necessary to keep Canadians safe. So anytime he chooses to rhyme off facts and figures, we know that he is not actually caring about Canadians, he's caring about himself.
The Honourable Leader of the Opposition.
Now we know the difference. We want to axe the tax. He wants to axe the facts. These are the places down to bring this